Hey guys, this is Malice here with another tournament report. This was played on Saturday, January 3rd. This is my second game against Tomb Kings. Jumping right into the list here, he's got a high Lich Priest level 4. This is his Hierophant. Then he has 4 Lich Priests and level 1 Lore of Light for Strength 7 Banishment if he rolls it, which he will this game. Real quick before I forget, the spells he rolled up were Vengeance, which is minus D3 to movement. All terrains treated as dangerous. Movement, Skullstorm, which I think he swapped Skullstorm for movement. Um, and then he also had the 5 upward save and smiting. For level 1, the level 1s, one had Time Warp, Banishment, Speed of Light, Foz Protection. It's a really good rounded selection there for him on the Lore of Light. And sorry about the mistake for the slide. I used just one PowerPoint template, and it looks like I messed up and forgot to change the title. But this is the Tomb Kings list continued. His core is 17 archers with the banner, 23 archers with the banner musician, 23 archers with banner and musician. Then he has 3 units of 5 horse archers for redirecting, and they scout, and which also means they can vanguard. Horse archers are amazing. They're only 70 points. They're fantastic. As a Tomb King player, um, I've been known to take all horse archer chaff just for fun in core. Moving on to especially his 3 units of 4 Necropolis Knights with banners. He then has his Hero Titan, 2 Screaming Skull catapults, and a Casket of Souls. So he's got a lot of magic, some really good scary magic. He's also got a pretty solid shooting phase against, especially against my Toughness 3 Elves. Um, so yeah, there's not much else to say other than this is a pretty good Tomb King list. I think he comped at like a 12.7 or something like that. So I'm definitely starting on the back foot here. Let's go ahead and hop into deployment. So this is the Tomb King left flank. The hills are infinitely high, just to reiterate that. The archer, that's 23 archers on a hill there. It's then 5 man horse archer unit. In front of the hill, a unit Necropolis Knights, the Hierophant and the Light Counselor in that middle archer unit next to the Hero Titan, and the Casket of Souls there is on the hill. Now I want to point out a big mistake here by my opponent, where he left me a gap that my Reavers could shoot through, which is there's about 6 inches between the board edge and that first archer unit, and that I think is a mistake of the game. He kind of left me a huge opening that he's either going to have to redirect all of his attention to stopping, or I'm going to start getting a casket or a catapult or just do other nonsense back there. So that's kind of the tone of the game. Not to spoil it, but let's keep moving on. Here's the center. He's got another. His Necropolis Knights basically form a wall. He's got another horse archer unit in front of him. The skull catapult's directly behind. So this is his right flank. He's got 17 archers in the woods, 5 horse archers in the woods, and the skull catapult is in the corner there. This is another mistake just because that skull catapult's way out there on an island where my reavers can also get to it. I've kind of alluded this as in other videos, as I typically put my reavers on the corners of my deployment zone, just because that way it starts making my opponent drop, and of course he completely outdrops me here. But my reavers are in a good spot with him leaving his wings open like that. I also forgot to mention this in the last slide, but you'll notice that there's 5 horse archers directly in front of those Necropolis Knights. That actually gives me a 12 boxcar chance charge with my Dragon Princes. On turn 1. That's another mistake there. I'm not going to make it, but I still took it. I actually rolled an 11, so it was really close to making the charge. But if he gives me that charge right off on turn 1, 7 Dragon Princes are going to do pretty okay against Necropolis Knights, or it's at least going to pin him in place for a round, and that's going to completely screw up his plan for the later turns. So let's move on to my deployment. This is my right flank. This is directly across from his Skullapult. I've got 5 Reavers and a Bolt Thrower on an infinitely high hill. And then this is my center. It's a very strong center play, I feel. I've got 7 Dragon Princes, 24 Phoenix Guard, and then my Silver Helm Bus. Directly behind them, I'm going to scout move my archers there just to keep them out of range for the archers. My Shadow Warriors there to keep them out of range for the first turn. This is what I was talking about a couple slides ago with my Dragon Princes have a 21-inch charge there on those horse archers, which would just be huge if I could pull that off on turn one. I'm not going to, but you should never leave something that important to the dice. So just be mindful of that when you guys are deploying. And then here's my left flank. It's bolt thrower archers, bolt thrower reavers. I put them up against the fence. It's not going to do me any good here, but it looks pretty. And we're going to have a nice shooting range on the left flank there. So here's the top of turn one. My Dragon Princess go ahead and declare that charge on his horse archers. I fail. I move him up 6 inches. Just that's my fail charge distance. My Silver Helms kind of keep pace. I've right now positioned them so where they're 18 inches away from the Necro Knights, which gives him an 11-inch charge against me, and a nice 9-inch charge against him. My Phoenix Guard, I throw them all the way up there 10 inches all on their own. Phoenix Guard with the Razor Standard are going to chew through Necro Knights. I'm not concerned about them taking a unit or two on at a time at all. I'll also be steadfast if I roll really, really poorly like I did last game against Flagellants. So there's my turn one moves in the center. My Shadow Warriors are going to sneak through here and pop up on the hill for some extra shots. And my Reavers were able to vanguard through the river, which got them beyond the river, so I was able to march up the full 18 inches like this. Gets me out of range of the archers. He won't be able to wheel to see me because he doesn't have a musician. And I'm primed for a turn 2 charge there against the Screaming Skull Catapult. And my Reavers are able to find the gap there and jump back behind the hill. They're now primed to charge the casket there on my turn 2. So we go to Magic Phase. I roll a 3-2 to start the first magic turn, and I throw 5 dice at Fiery Convocation. He's unable to dispel. I kill 15 archers, wound the entire Coven of Light, but I fail to put a wound on his Hierophant, and that's huge. Already starting off with a great start there to put pressure on that bunker, and with Tomb King movement, he's going to have a hard time getting them away from all of my shots in time. This is top of Tomb King, or bottom of turn 1, Tomb King's first moves. The entire center shuffles backwards, their full distance. This was, everything's still shuffling backward here. In my shooting phase, I was able to clear 2 units of Horse Archers. That's where I focused most of my shots at. So the Shadow Warriors downed 1 on their own. And then the bolt throwers and archers combined to kill the other one, and then the other bolt thrower just whiffed trying to tickle some Necro Knights. So his Coven actually bounces out of the bunker in order to kind of dodge Fiery Convocation for another round. They're moving that way. In the magic phase, I should also mention his Hero Titan jumps on the hill. His casket moves behind the hill so my Reavers can't see him, and he's blocked with the Hero Titan. In Magic, he then detonates with Vengeance on my Night Bus and drops my movement by 3, which is so annoying. But that's okay. Let's keep going. This shot's just showing the effect of the Dimensional Cascade, and he does not get sucked into the warp and has failed to be wounded on Strength 10. It's one tough-ass Hierophant. In the shooting phase, he manages to drop 3 Shadow Warriors, so it's really showing me that I can't keep my Prince out here for very long, otherwise he is going to get shot up. Elsewhere, his archer unit on the hill shoots the bolt thrower and fails to wound it. In my turn, my Dragon Princes charge the horse archers that are redirecting them. They pummel them and reform to face the center. My Phoenix Guard continue their long march forward. Like I said, I'm not really worried about leaving them on this island here. They'll be all right. No worries. And my Silver Helms just slide over to support the Phoenix Guard. I'm not going to risk marching or charging with Vengeance up on me, and I'm only movement 6 right now. So my magic phase is pretty lackluster. I'm not even really sure what happened. I know Fiery finished the Tomb King Hierophant Archer unit. Shooting a bolt thrower downs a Necro Knight, and I think I just keep plinking wounds off here and there. So let's go on to... you can also see my Reavers back there kind of slinking around the back table, kind of pass a march check and continue to put pressure on that casket. In combat, my Reavers pummel the Screaming Skull Catapult and reform to face down his line there. So it's Tomb King, I think we're on turn 2 right now, still. Tomb King turn 2, he's going to charge my Phoenix Guard in the center there. I hold. That right Necro Knight unit also charged my Dragon Princes. I go ahead and flee that one. He doesn't redirect like I was hoping to, so he'd have 2 units on my front, but he just kind of wheels around like that. So he'll probably flank me in a couple turns if I can't break these Necro Knights here. So you know how good I am at taking pictures. I actually skipped turn 3 for me. This is the end of my turn 3 here, where over 2 rounds I've got the Necro Knight down to 1 wound left, which is a bummer because he's about to flank charge me with the Necro Knights. And again, I'm not really that concerned. It's just going to tie me up for another round and prevent me from putting a lot of pressure on him in the center of the board. This is shooting in my turn 3. I drop Banishment Wizard, Speed of Light Wizard, um, and I think that's it on this flank here. So I'm actually just going to just kind of talk through the end of the game here while the pictures kind of roll. Just because they're really disjointed. This was a fun game. My opponent wasn't rolling particularly well, and he was getting kind of frustrated, so I wasn't, going to keep taking pictures just to rub it in his face. Um, and we were having fun. It was a fun game. Phil, I'm sorry about your dice if you're watching this. Your dice were crap. So let's keep going on here. My Phoenix Guard kill the one guy in front of him, kill the guy in the flank, and they reform to face. They're then going to kill that unit in another round of combat before turning to face the center. My Dragon Princes actually failed to rally in the turn prior and are going to rally on the back base edge here before running off the board. They actually fled through my Prince and my Bolt Thrower, and that could have been a disaster where I'm up by a lot of points there. Just to give up points on a stupid mistake like that would have been really, really unfortunate, but luckily I was able to pass my panic check on the Prince. My Reavers continue their long assault on the back line there. Just kind of rolling through pictures. The Silver Helms don't really ever get into combat until the very end of the game, but they're just continue their long, slow grind towards the Hierophant. My Prince will do the last couple wounds on the Hierophant, which was awesome. It's not the combined Elven shooting. No, it's the Shadow Prince with his sweet bow. Puts the last arrow through somebody's eye. Fiery Convocation is going to kill his bunker on the hill. And that will also open up his light wizards to get shot. Yeah, not much else to say. The Screaming Skull Catapult will melt from Crumble. And the Hero Titan and Necro Knights will make a desperate charge. The Necro Knights are actually going to cut off my Ogre Blade Noble's head. I have to ward a killing blow on my BSB with his Golden Crown. And then my Phoenix Guard will bail them out and I'll crush them in close combat. But all in all, a good game. Phil is a great guy to play, and I hope we get to do it again soon. I'm going to head on over to the adding it up and a wrap up slide instead of just a scroll. So adding it up, the High Elves lost the Ogre Blade Noble, 5 Reavers, and a Bolt Thrower to shooting. Tomb Kings lost the Light Coven Hierophant, 17 Archers, 23 Archers, 3x5 Archers, 3x4 Necro Knights, Hero Titan, 2 Skull Catapults, and the Casket of Souls. So the final result is a 20-0 win for the High Elves. So my impressions of the game was Phil's a great guy to play against, and I would definitely love to get a game against him too again. I've actually had that impression from all the CGL guys. I haven't met one I haven't liked yet, which says a lot for a whole gaming club. Just to kind of my thoughts on the game, I thought I played really well. Didn't make too many mistakes. The only big one was obviously leaving my Prince behind a fleeing Dragon Prince unit, but I should have rallied. That's okay though. It happens. Can't complain about my dice that game at all compared to Phil's. But more than that was him leaving his wings open like that for my Reavers to kind of gun through there and start getting into his War Machines and into his backline. First turn was huge. Was really big for me. That and then a good Fiery Convocation on the top of turn 1 really kind of had the game sealed before Phil even got to move his models. Fiery Convocation is a fantastic spell. And then the Reaver's really shown here. My Prince didn't do a whole lot, just because, it's not a good matchup for him with the unit always hitting him on 5s, and my opponent having a lot of shooting. But I was, able to kind of keep that limited by dancing him around the hill there. And then he came out when a lot of Phil's shooting was dead too, and he did kill a Necro Knight. He killed the Hierophant, and stuff like that. So that was fun. It was a great game, and I hope to see you guys here again soon in Game 3.